Don't you dare ask us to cancel our plans again. We've had these Elton John tickets for months, my mother yelled, her voice echoing sharply through my hospital room. I sat there, stunned, clutching my phone with trembling hands. It was Christmas Eve at Las Vegas Medical Center. Just me, my 2-year-old twins, Ethan and Emily, playing quietly in the corner, and Valerie, the nurse, checking my vitals. The pain in my abdomen was unbearable, like someone was twisting a blade inside me, but it was the look of cold detachment on my mother's face through the video call that hurt even worse. My name is Natasha Wilson. I'm 33, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the afterthought in my own family. Jessica, my younger sister, and the family's golden child, could never do wrong. Meanwhile, I couldn't even get my parents to babysit their only grandchildren while I prepared for emergency surgery related to complications from my husband's death. 6 months earlier, doctors had discovered internal bleeding that needed immediate intervention, but all my parents seemed to care about was their concert tickets and spending. Christmas Eve with Jessica, when I finally turned to them my last resort, after exhausting all other options, my father's words cut deeper than any scalpel. You're becoming a real nuisance and burden, Natasha. We're retired now. We deserve to enjoy our lives without your constant issues. For the past 3 years since their early retirement, I had been sending them $2,500 monthly, helping with their mortgage and everyday expenses. Even after James passed, I kept sending it out of love, out of duty, out of the belief that family supports one another. What a fool I had been. Dada's silent tears fell onto the stiff hospital blanket. Valerie gently squeezed my shoulder. My friend Olivia's a professional nanny. She specializes in childhood trauma. Let me call her for you, she offered, her kindness stark against my parents' coldness. The twins, too young to grasp the situation, had already lost their father in a car crash. Now they could lose me if the surgery went wrong. The thought terrified me not nearly as much as leaving them with people who saw them as a burden. Pain radiated through me. Disappointment crushed my chest, but in that moment, I found clarity. Yes, please call her, I whispered with those words. I began severing the toxic ties to people who had raised me but never truly loved me. As I hung up, a wave of memories crashed in childhood scenes of being overlooked while Jessica basked in constant attention. When I graduated college with honors, my achievement was barely acknowledged. Jessica had booked a local commercial that weekend. At my wedding to James, they complained about the venue being too far. When the twins were born, they visited once claiming the babies were too fussy. James had been my rock. He knew the sting of family rejection, having been estranged from his own father. We'll build our own family, he used to say. One that knows how to love. And we did. We made a warm, safe home filled with laughter, love, and acceptance that then a drunk driver took him from us. Even while drowning in grief, I kept supporting my parents. I even increased the money I sent when they complained about inflation. I thought I was setting a better example. Turns out I was just enabling them. Valerie returned to say Olivia would arrive within the hour. She's amazing with kids, she assured me. Used to work with trauma patients at the children's hospital. How much will this cost? I asked. Dread creeping, and James's insurance had limited coverage, and the bills were piling up. "Don't worry about that now," Valerie said gently. "Let's just get you ready for surgery." But I was worried. I thought about the $2,500 I was scheduled to send next week, the same amount that could now be used for proper childcare. That thought ignited something I hadn't felt in years. A flicker of self-preservation. When Olivia arrived, she was everything Valerie promised. Kind, professional, attentive to the twins right away. As the staff began prepping me for surgery, I asked Valerie from my phone. With shaky hands, I sent 2 messages. One to my bank, cancel all future transfers to my parents' account. The second to my parents, I will no longer be providing financial support. My children and I deserve better than being your afterthoughts. Do not contact me again. As I was wheeled toward the operating room, despite the pain and fear, I felt something unexpected. Freedom. The surgery succeeded, though left me weaker than I'd expected. I spent 5 days in the hospital, drifting in and out, grateful for Olivia, who stayed with the twins by day and took them home at night. During one lucid moment, I saw my phone blinking. 27 missed calls, dozens of texts from my parents and Jessica. The pattern was predictable. Confusion, anger, desperate, begging for their mortgage payment. Not a single message asked how my surgery went. The final text from my dad summed it all up. "You can't just cut us off like this. We've planned a cruise next month. The tickets are non-refundable." Jessica's messages struck a different tone. "Mom and Dad just said you were having some minor procedure. What's going on? Why are they panicking about money?" It hit me. They had lied to Jessica about how serious my condition was. Still groggy, I told her everything. Her reply came quickly. "Oh my God, Natasha. I had no idea. They said you were being dramatic over a routine checkup. I would have watched the twins. I'm so sorry." I believed her. Jessica wasn't cruel, just raised to believe her needs came first. Maybe this could open her eyes. When I was discharged, I had made some important decisions. I hired Olivia. I contacted a lawyer to name a trusted friend as the twins' guardian, not my parents. I blocked my parents' numbers and gave Jessica limited access, waiting to see if her sincerity was real, cutting that financial cord. Nearly a third of my income meant I could now afford proper childcare and rebuild the emergency fund that James's death had drained that first night home. Lying in bed while the twins slept peacefully across the hall, I felt a cocktail of emotions. Guilt, fear, but also surprisingly self-respect. Jessica texted me, "I just had a huge fight with Mom and Dad. I'm staying in a hotel tonight. Can we talk tomorrow?" Maybe I wasn't as alone as I thought.